Silencers in Airsoft. While some say they don't really have a notable effect in the game, others spend lots of time and money to find the perfect suppressor solution. But which side is actually right now? After looking for a video that would compare the actual effect with and without a silencer on all of the most common Airsoft systems, HPA, GBB, AEG and Spring powered, and not finding one, I decided to make one myself. Let's get started. Time to tell you some quick words about the suppressor first that I will be using here. It's actually quite simple stuff. An aluminium tube with two threaded end caps that you could fit to different outer barrel sizes. The inside filling I built myself from an old shortened sniper spring and several rings which I cut myself from some packaging foam. I'm aware that there are dozens of different materials and modifications to this idea out there, but the basic concept, talking about Airsoft, always follows the same principle. The entire silencer did not cost me more than about 15 euros, which makes it a quite affordable solution. Now let's see how it will perform on 4 differently powered Airsoft replicas. I prepared 2 camera microphone combinations, one right next to the shooter and one about 20 meters away, to demonstrate how effectively the shooting sound actually will be suppressed. In order to find out on which system the silencer will have the most suppressing effect, I did some analysis for you. You see, I marked the full audio range of the silenced shots in blue and the non-silenced shots in red. As you noticed, I decided against the popular decibel weighting for the measurement, as my aim is not to tell which replica will be the most silent or the loudest in the test. As far as I know, decibel measures the acoustic pressure, and therefore the decibel weighting and actual loudness are not proportional to each other, which could lead to irritating statements here easily. Instead, I picked a simple amplitude scale from 0 to 1 for easy visualization and comparison. Because the microphone setup is identical on all 4 replicas, a valid method can be to calculate the average scale output of all the shots and subtract the silenced from the non-silenced one. The result is, which I will call the silencer effect, which will tell us how performative a suppressor can be used on every platform in the end. On the close-up GBB recordings, the average non-silenced amplitude was at 0.88 and the silenced average was at 0.86. The silencer effect, therefore, is very low. We know this from standing next to a GBBR shooter. All the mechanical parts, the moving bolt and the expanding gas are very present sources of sound. Things already change a lot when moving 20 meters away from the shooter. We see the average amplitude turns from 0.82 to 0.17 when using the silencer, which also is very good to hear in the recording files. You can imagine the silencer effect of 0.65 probably will even increase when adding more distance to the shooter, but that's something for another day. Fun fact, the black bars mark the sound of the BB impact, which in case of using the silencer tended to be even louder than the actual shots. For the close-up AEG comparison, the difference with and without a silencer also is barely noticeable, but with an average difference of 0.17, already a lot better than on the GBB, as the amount of mechanical noise, which cannot be filtered by the suppressor, is smaller here. The 20-meter comparison actually could cause some confusion. Although the shooting sound both with and without the silencer is more quiet than on the GBB system, the actual difference between them, the silencer effect, is a little lower with only 0.43. My attempt to explain this follows the idea of overvolume. While gas-powered airsofts usually expel a lot more gas than necessary to accelerate the BB, the amount of air leaving the barrel behind the BB on the AEG actually is a little lower. This overvolume on the GBB can not only cause strong joule creep, but also give the silencer more volume to work with. Again, this is only a theory, so please feel free to discuss this in the comments. Besides that, I do not completely understand why we cannot see the sound of the BB impacts on the silenced amplitude scale more clearly. My only explanation for this is that I probably must have aimed to some softer or more far away spots on the grass, as all the other factors like camera position, distances and angles stayed the same. The results for the close-up HPA shots are basically the same as on the AEG I tested, which actually surprises me because the character of sound is so different on both systems. I assume this is not only because of the actual loudness, but also because of the different durations of sound output. I will come back to this in the final chapter of the video. Obviously, HPA and AEG sounds behave also very similar on the 20-meter distance. The measured silencer effect of 0.46 is almost the same as on the AEG. Following my previously set up theory, the air volume ratio on both systems must be quite similar. I just adjusted the correct dwell on the MTW right before this video, by the way. When you stand right next to the spring-powered sniper finally, you won't hear that much of a difference in loudness with or without a mounted suppressor. The silencer effect of 0.09 is stronger than on the GBB, but weaker compared to the AEG and HPA platform. This time, the black bars on the scale are not the BB impacts, but the cocking sounds, by the way. The most effective use of a silencer in this comparison was achieved with the spring-powered sniper replica at a 20 meters distance. With an amplitude difference of 0.66 and, additionally, a lot less mechanical noise than on the GBB, the spring-powered system leaves the best overall impression in the test. In case you'd like to recalculate my findings or would like to measure the sound outputs in decibel, for example, I will upload all the raw files of the silencer test in a cloud folder. You will find it in the video description. As a final result, I would like to sum up the findings of this video in 3 main statements for you. Statement 1. Silencers do have a measurable and hearable effect on all platforms, especially in the distance, while being not too expensive and easy to craft yourself. Statement 2. The biggest effect of silencer use on a hearing distance of 20 meters was to achieve on a spring-powered platform, followed by GBB, HPA and AEG. Statement 3. The grade of perceptibility is not only a matter of loudness, as this direct comparison of the HPA and GBB scales shows. The duration of sound output also plays a very important role, which is not subject to this video. After all, please note that all the findings can only be referred to my personal setup of silencer and replicas, while your setup could generate diverging outcomes. In case you like this comparison, you could also enjoy the other videos on my channel. Feel free to give it a visit. So long, have a good one.